school pastor.
Well, that makes sense.
That's what he said.
They kind of far.
I gotta go back to Tallahassee.
How soon do you have that?
I'm not gonna do it till January.
They've identified everything we're still working together.
Yeah, as long as you can see, I guess you said you couldn't see, so as long as you can see what you're flying.
Yeah.
Hurricane come through on that.
It's coming out.
It is what it is. It's hard to get
It's
home.
not like you're in pain.
Yeah.
And you can see, so yeah.
Yeah.
Our stories.
I don't know.
I'm so used to glasses, you know.
They're now 4-inch pump. Just 25 a day.
That's it, we're still on the gun.
He's at the beach.
Yeah, we got over 4-inch.
We're going to 50.
It's not far more.
It's got a 4-inch stroke.
Oh, yeah.
16.4%. Currently,
It's time to call this meeting. We'll call this meeting to order. This is the first public hearing of the City of Callaway Board of Commissioners. It is Thursday, September 4th, 2025, 5:01 p.m. If y'all will please stand with me, Commissioner Pelletier will do the invocation. Commissioner Ayers, please lead us in the pledge.
Lord, thank you for allowing us to be here this evening. Please help us make decisions for the betterment of our city and our citizens. We ask that you look after our citizens, our first responders, and our employees. In God's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
City Clerk, please do a roll call.
Commissioner Burns?
Here.
Commissioner Pelletier?
Here.
Commissioner Ayers?
Here, ma'am.
Mayor Henderson?
Okay, I guess, City Clerk, we can let you do this first part, the public announcement.
Yes, ma'am. Pursuant to section 200.065, section 2E of the Florida statutes, notice of tentative property taxes for the city of Callaway, Florida, trade notice. The proposed ad valorem rate for this fiscal year 25-26 was advertised to be a maximum of 2.7500 mils. This millage rate would be greater than the current year's rollback rate of 2.6981 mils. After reviewing revenue projections and proposed expenditure levels for the 2025-26 fiscal year, the general fund budget is balanced at a tentative rate of 2.7000 mils, which is more than the current year's rollback rate by 0.0019, an increase of 0.0704%. This means 2.7000 mils is to be levied to fund the fiscal year 2025-26 budget.
Okay, then we go on to the tentative fiscal year 25-26 budget and city manager budget. Do you have a budget message for us, city manager?
Well, you've had plenty of workshops on this. I did want to bring to everyone's attention that you do have a sheet in front of you, noted additional capitals for 2026. This is actually, we need to do upgrades on 3 of our lift stations. This is actually coming directly from that water and sewer study model that we did. While it's not yet complete, this was one of the things that was identified. These 3 stations are currently undersized on pumps, and it's creating deadhead pressures and overhead bypasses on them right now. So we would like to put in for an additional $100,130.76, which will be used from impact fees, since this will be upgrades for the system.
Anybody have any question or comment about that for city manager?
No, there's no comment, but we also, we always ask the question of where's the money coming from? And this is coming from impact fees, which is actually one of the few things that we can use impact fees for. So It's all a plus.
And we're gonna continue to see this as we get that study back and start down. I'm sure we'll see some additional projects come through next year as we continue. We did put in for 3 additional lift stations for grants for those. Hopefully we'll hear something back on that. We did get the grant submission put in for the spillway. So even though we had it budgeted, that will be a 50% grant if we can pull that one off. Cross our fingers. We have done all we can do. We're scrounging every place we can.
So is this the place that there's something else that I wanted to bring up about the budget?
Yes, and we'll need to also, I think Commissioner Pelletier, when we talk today, we'll talk about solid waste also.
Okay, because one of the things, and I mean, I was remiss in this, I was going through all my iterations of the budget last night, getting ready for the meeting, and I came across this book that I had neglected to look through after we had our presentation from Dr. Graham. One of the things I thought maybe we just need to bring up, I know she had mentioned funding that night, and we need to look at, do we want to consider funding the estuary program? And you know, one of the things that I thought of at first, I thought, well, these are not really waters in Callaway, but they're waters that citizens of Callaway enjoy. If you drive around, you see a lot of people have boats. But people, they boat, they swim, they dive, there's all kind of water activities, fishing, that really this would impact, cleaning up the waters, the bays. That helps everybody, not just people that don't live in Callaway. So I didn't know, I did check and see, I know some of the other cities have already budgeted the funds. Lynn Haven has budgeted $20,000. Springfield's actually already paid $10,000. The beach has budgeted $20,000, and Mexico Beach has budgeted $2,500. It's based on population. That's why the numbers are varying. So I just wanted to bring up to see, what our commission wants to do. I just didn't want to ignore it and not bring it up. So did anybody have any feelings on? Yes, sir.
I definitely do, and I appreciate you bringing it up. We're just a little premature. I think we need to study a little more. I had several questions for Dr. Graham, which I haven't had answered yet. But one of the things is they're billing by population. They're using our population as 20,000. Right now, it's advertised as 14,000. That was one of the questions I had for. And then I asked, Bay County's being billed by population, and are we part of that billing? And she said yes. If we're already paying through Bay County, and we do pay full ad valorem to Bay County, we're already covered. So that was just a couple of the questions, and I just think we're a little premature. Another thing that I thought of today is that in our budget, we never do this kind of thing. We always stick to what taxpayers are needed, like roads and things like that, sewer, water, solid waste. This would be the first time since I've been on the commission that we're actually going outside our scope and charging taxpayers something of this nature. I think at some point we may want to, but I think we need more time to see what our fair share is.
Anybody else have a thought?
No, I think that's a fair assessment, and actually where the money would be coming from, we can do it later when we do have the questions answered, and be coming out of the same pot rather than budget it now. We budget the reserves, so not doing anything now.
I don't have any problems with that. I'd like to see that $20,000, like some of our sister cities, for trees for our citizens of Callaway. I've talked many times about giving trees away to the citizens of this city, and I know a couple of cities that have already done it, and I know the commission, we've gone back and forth on that. I agree that it's premature, but before we give money outside of the city, I think we ought to give it to our citizens.
Okay. I just wanted to bring it up, so I mean, we could say we discussed it now and decided against it. So that's all I had. Was there something you wanted to talk about?
The only thing I wanted to talk about, I talked to city manager today. I went back and did some computing on that, on solid waste. From the end of 24 till a month ago, we've only increased 81 customers. And I was asking, okay, why do we need another truck with 81 customers? At some point, I think we're gonna need an additional truck, but I think again, we're a little, like I said, Commissioner, we're a little premature with, buying another truck. Besides that, the trucks that we're using now, we work in tandem. So we'd have a single truck by itself. And third, I asked the city manager if we were gonna go, then we ought to look at what's going on in Panama City. Because we talk about, he's mentioned time and time again that the trucks take wear and tear, where Panama City has a better setup where they have a trailer with a boom on it and a truck by itself. So it's not beating up the truck, it's beating up the trailer. And, and my thoughts is that, he says, well, tonnage, well, to me, tonnage, I understand that, 81 customers to me doesn't justify another truck. Because that's the number of stops. And I mentioned in Shadow Bay, we only have an average of 10 stops out of 200 homes. And I think most of you have chimed in on that, and some people in the audience have chimed in that, well, on my street, we'll have X number of stops. And of course, we do have a down day, and of course it's used to maintain the vehicles, because they do take a beating. But that's why I'm thinking if we're gonna go with another vehicle this year, to me, we should look at what Panama City's doing, and the city manager was gonna look at that.
So I made some phone calls today. The way they do it is all of their stuff is going straight to the steel field.
Right.
That's why they're utilizing a trailer. They actually have 2 people per truck. They have a driver and they have somebody that sits in the cab in the back. They do a pull behind trailer. They load it up. When they get full, they go to the yard, they drop that trailer off, they pick up an empty one, and then they have a driver that's there at the yard. So every truck has 3 people.
Yeah.
And they're turning around, they're taking that out, dumping it, and then coming back. So they have enough. So they've got a yard full of empty trailers that they're constantly running back and forth.
Is it a dump trailer or is it a trailer?
I didn't get an answer on that. I don't know how they're getting it out of the back of it. Of course, I didn't have time. We just talked about this morning.
Right.
But, efficiency wise, I mean, I don't want to throw people under the bus here, but Panama City's got 40-something thousand people. They have 600 employees. I have 20,000 people, and I have 85.
Right.
Okay, so we're doing more with nothing.
Right.
We have 1 truck, we have 1 person, and these trucks are running 8 hours a day, non-stop. They do not stop. It's not like a Mini that we go out and we dig a hole and then it sits over on the side. These trucks are being run 8 hours a day straight. There are 2 to 3, about 3 hours is what I was told on Thursdays and Fridays. Those are maintenance times. Those guys go out, they wash their trucks. They have to grease those trucks extensively. There's a lot of maintenance that has to be done on them. Currently, right now, we're running 3 trucks on a route. We've just recently split up the yard debris so that we're having 2 trucks on a route per day. We're splitting the route, so 2 trucks. Then they have 1 truck that's running the other bulk debris. And then the first truck that gets done with that goes and starts helping pick up the bulk debris. But these trucks are running, they're straight through. We've never increased personnel or trucks in this department as long as I've been here. We've always been around with the same. We created this fund and increased it so that we could purchase additional equipment. I mean, right now, if I have 1 person out, you just lost your supervisor. He's got to be on a truck. And the biggest complaint that I'm having right now from customers is, I can't get anybody to call me back. He can't. He doesn't have time. He's on the truck all day. They're going to call back on Thursday or Friday whenever things go down a little bit. So these guys are running straight through. If I'm down a person, like I said, I've been, everyone knows the past couple of months since we've been dealing with the solid waste issue, we have not filled the position. We've kept 2 positions open. Now, now that we've decided to keep it, we've already filled one position. We've had people that was waiting, wanting to come on board that have Class A's that can run. So, I mean, I presented y'all with the chart. You can see the commissioners, kind of like what you said, the canopies are blue. That's your vegetation. It's starting to climb back up now a little bit, but it's that other material because, we tweaked this a little bit. We're trying to be a little bit more lenient in getting stuff picked up. And that's where you see that other one is just almost a straight line going up. And we feel like it's going to continue to go up, and yard debris is going to go up. Our tonnage is going up. This is not tonnage, this is number of loads.
Right.
So they pack to their appropriate fill line. I checked with David. David's been running secretly behind some of the trucks to see the operators are being used on all of them. We think that the one, which is a previous employee that we had some safety issues with, we got a feeling he was not putting his riggers down too. So the outriggers on that thing. I mean, we're continuing to grow, and it's not so much. I mean, they're maxed out. They're pushing right now everything they can, and of course, we have to put and I don't want to bring up the street sweeper that falls under this division right now. And they've not been able to run that because they're short-handed. And a lot of times what we do is when we put a truck in for maintenance, that guy will go and get on the street sweeper and he runs his routes for those. And so we switch out. But these trucks are being ran 8 hours a day straight. They do not stop except for lunch. And they're probably the most wear and tear vehicles that we have in our fleet. Just because of the nature of what they do. And I'm not going to sit up here and tell y'all that I think we're asking for something we don't need. I mean, it's time. That's why we budgeted that money so that we could add personnel and add equipment as needed. We're under budget.
I'm not arguing that point.
We're going to be able to maintain. But we've got a department that is just they're strapped out. They're thin.
Okay. The city manager, I went back and reviewed some of the tapes, and I don't ever recall that, when we talked about, our finance director got up and says, we're losing money every year. Losing money, we brought the rates up because we were losing money because what was happening, especially, what we were hauling. I don't ever recall that we had a discussion that, about equipment at the time. May be wrong, but the discussion we had when we raised that particular day, when we raised the rates, that discussion was because we were losing money every year, not because we needed equipment. So that's why I'm true.
No, we did that strictly for capital.
Yeah.
We did that because we had to buy a truck.
The additional $2 was basically.
It's $3.
Well,
Additional
$3. Additional $3 and was $4.
Yeah.
Now, if you remember, when we went to, I think it was ordinance 1000, when we went to ordinance 1000, that was, that cut down a lot on what we picked up. We were losing money then because every year, when I got here, the general fund was funding solid waste. And, if you remember, we did a couple of things. We managed to clear out the transfer station, got it back to normal, and we got control, and we matched up with what everybody else was doing. And we got back in, and we were able to go through. But if you remember, we purchased a truck. And David?
Out of the general fund.
Out of the general
And
fund.
that truck was bought from general fund.
Yeah, so we had the fund to get that truck, and that's where that discussion came in, is we need to be able to capitalize so that we can plan for the future and be able to purchase equipment as needed. And so we collected that money, it's sitting in the account, it's for a capital purchase. And that's why we're here asking. We're not asking to take anything out of the general fund, that enterprise fund can fund this. Collected that money, it's sitting in the account. Dave, is there anything that I left out that you'd like to add?
One of the big things is, if I look back, in 2016, we had 5,537 accounts. We're up to 6,617 as of last month. That's a 1,080 increase or a 20% increase, and you have never increased staff over that time. Staff has increased 21% total by the city, not one person has increased in that department. Meter services has doubled, fire department's increased by 4. So Some of the other departments had one or two here and there, but this department is maintained. They should get a standing ovation for maintaining and doing this with the growth that we've had in the city. And we just keep looking at additional houses coming on board that's going to continue to add to this department's workload.
So what is our official population now? You mentioned 20, and every place I see it's 14 something, but.
No.
So what are you personally using?
You could look at the census data, but we look at the number of counts and do 2.5, since you around 18,000.
The census was taken when we were down after the hurricane.
Yes, sir.
So right now, what we talk about in the TPO, we talk about as far as other dollars that we're looking for, that we can actually justify, right now, we can justify almost 17,000. And what we're looking for is the build out with the hurricane, with Tyndall, that within another 3 to 5 years, we'll be up to 20,000. So that's where we've got to project here. But that
We'll
14,
have a consensus next year for sure. So I think the president's gonna do one, I think our governor's gonna order one also. But,
I've done special census. I did a special census back in the last city I was at, and I will tell you that, while you get additional revenue for a higher census, generally it's just enough to pay for that census. It's just, so there, if the state wants to pay to have one done, great. But you can look at the number of active accounts and multiply it by 2.5, because 2.5 is.
so we can round the active accounts to about 7,000, and then,
I know meetings that we had, when we had the mayor's thing going on and stuff, and that was one of the big discussions, because a lot of cities were getting short counted after the census. But we talked about, should we all go together and request a special census, but that was the decision. It would cost more than it would be worth doing. We wouldn't gain anything because of the cost. So there was a lot of discussion about
When they
that.
did that census, the question that was asked is, where are you laying your head tonight? Well, the problem was, we had houses here. And there was a lot of people living over at the beach. They were living in condos. People were living in hotels. They had to count that.
yeah, I understand all that.
And so,
How many accounts do we have, David?
I don't know off the top of my head.
You just mentioned them.
That's the solid waste accounts only. There's more than that in the city.
I got you.
Okay, water and sewer accounts are gonna be higher than that because you've got households that are in the county that we're still servicing.
Mm.
These are strictly city accounts. For solid waste, those are the numbers I'm quoting.
Yes, sir.
The water accounts are well over 7,000.
Okay, so that's about 17.5 to 18.
we also have 150 homes right now that are in suspended. That means that they're in construction, but they haven't come on as true accounts, so that's not in that number.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
So that brings us back to the truck. If this is in the budget, if we approve the budget, can you purchase it without it coming back to commission?
It's the truck is in the budget.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
already in the
saying.
budget.
If
Yeah,
it's
we
in the
purchase.
budget, you don't need to come back to
No,
commission.
we'll purchase. Y'all approve the budget? We'll
Yeah,
purchase.
that's what I thought.
question was asked, and I think you gave a good explanation. I'm all for sticking with what we're doing.
I'm fine with leaving the truck.
And the plan that we actually laid out last year. So
Or y'all stand on the truck.
I'm good to leave it like that.
I don't have any problems, but I just wanted to see why we were doing it.
Okay,
Because it's coming out of reserves anyhow, and I understand the money is there.
yeah.
I just look at numbers, look at accounts, and try to analyze what's going on and why we're doing it. I understand the city wants it, but they wanted a street sweeper too that we never used.
I have to throw that
You
in.
feel those positions.
Well, with the increase of labor, maybe we can get some increase.
You know what I'm saying?
But I'm gonna go ahead, I figured out I'm taking a new position on street sweeper. I don't want you to ask me if it's running, I just wanna know where the dirty street is.
Well, it doesn't have to be dirty, it should be out there.
No,
Why does it have to be dirty?
I'm not gonna vacuum I'm not gonna vacuum my carpet today just because I did it yesterday.
You know, should I give you a list of how many grids have not been cleaned in this city? That's what they should be doing, right?
They didn't have a grid system in
Right, and that's not being done. So that's a different subject. I don't wanna get off track.
Anybody up here have anything else they want to bring up about the budget before we go to the public?
No, that's it. That's all I have.
You good? You have anything else?
Okay.
Okay.
David, is there anything else we need to bring up? Okay, thank you.
Okay, we will go on to public participation. This is y'all's chance. Is there anybody in the audience that wants to say anything about the budget, stuff we talked about or things that we talked about in the past? Well, yeah, but I'm talking about on the budget.
Right.
Nothing, nobody right now? Nobody right now? Okay.
I got you 2.7.
Miracles. Miracles do happen.
Okay, but we will go on now to our more regular kind of agenda items. I think everybody that's here has been to a meeting, so you know the rules on public participation, we don't need to go through that. We'll go to agenda item number 4, which is resolution 25-17, final assessment resolution for nuisance abatement assessment. So I guess, City Clerk, you were going to read the resolution?
Resolution 2517, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Callaway, Florida, relating to the nuisance abatement within the city, confirming the initial assessment resolution, providing authority and definitions, creating the nuisance abatement assessment area, amending and approving the nuisance abatement assessment rule, providing for the imposition of the nuisance abatement assessment, providing for the collection of the assessments pursuant to the Uniform Assessment Collection Act, providing for the effect of this resolution, providing severability, and providing an immediately effective date.
Thank you, City Manager. Did you have anything you would like to say about
No,
this?
these are tax liens. We're just gonna get them applied.
Already talked about all this, so yes.
Does anybody have any question or comment? Anybody in the audience want to talk about the nuisance abatement assessment? If not, would someone like to make a motion on this item?
Motion to approve resolution 25-17, final assessment resolution for nuisance abatement.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. If there's no discussion, City Clerk?
Commissioner Griggs?
Yes.
Commissioner Pelletier?
Yes.
Commissioner Ayers?
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Henderson?
Yes. Okay, we will go on to agenda item number 5, which is resolution number 25-18, fiscal year 25-26 tentative ad valorem tax rate. City Clerk?
Resolution 2518, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Callaway County, Florida, adopting a tentative levying of ad valorem taxes for fiscal year 2025-26 and providing for an effective date.
City Manager, anything?
Y'all wanted 2.7 and you got 2.7.
I hope they know out there we reduce the taxes.
That's right,
Didn't increase, we reduced.
that's right. Not a big decrease, but
No,
a
that's a
decrease.
decrease, yeah.
It didn't go up.
Yeah.
So did anybody want to comment on this item?
Hey, News Crew, did you hear that? Lowered ad valorem. That's the headline,
Yeah.
okay? If you don't take anything else out, take that.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm sorry, make sure Carol gets positive.
I'm writing it down,
Yeah.
Since nobody's commenting, I would entertain a motion on this item.
I'd like to make a motion, we accept resolution number 2518, FY 2025/26, tentative ad valorem tax rate.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Since there's no discussion, city clerk. Okay.
Sorry.
Commissioner Pelletier,
Yes.
Commissioner Ayers,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Griggs,
Yes.
Mayor Henderson.
Yes.
Aren't we already the lowest?
Yeah, the lowest in the county.
Huh, we were already the lowest in the county, and we lowered it even more. Addition to the headline,
So,
already lowest Callaway lowers even more.
some municipalities say they're the lowest, but they're not, they're at 4.5.
Yeah.
That's lowest for them, but
That's why we're at 2.7. Okay, agenda item number 6. Resolution number 25-19, fiscal year 25-26 tentative budget.
Resolution 2519, a resolution of the City of Callaway, Bay County, Florida, adopting the tentative budget for the fiscal year 2025-26 and providing for an effective date.
Anything to add?
As presented.
That's our budget. I know most of you have been here for all our budget workshops, so you know what's in there. So, anybody have anything to say up here? Anybody in the audience have any comment? If not, gentlemen, we need a motion.
motion to approve resolution number 2419, fiscal 25-26 tentative budget.
Actually, it's 25.
25.
It does say 24 there, but it's 25.
It's 25, yeah.
25, gotcha.
As noted, correction on the sheet.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second.
My eyes were good, I read 24.
I don't even have a copy of it.
Yeah, it's right on the actual
Right.
resolution.
It's just right on the, it's just the agenda.
I've had a while.
I'll have these.
That's okay. Okay, so we do have a motion and a second, and there's no discussion, so city clerk?
Commissioner Ayers,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Griggs,
Yes.
Commissioner Pelletier,
Yes.
and Mayor Henderson.
Yes. Okay, and that brings us to the end of our meeting. We have no comments tonight, so we are adjourned.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you all. We have a commission meeting next Tuesday.
Yes.